Let's bring in Congressman Lance Gooden, Republican from the state of Texas. Congressman, look, we know that there's a lot of stuff in the $3 trillion bill that you don't like, that a lot of other people don't like, and it probably is going to be dead on arrival. So let's move on to the next stimulus package or rescue package, call it what you will. What do you want to see in it?
I want to see fixes to the problems with the Small Business Administration's loan programs. We've heard nightmares. Democrats and Republicans have been disappointed in Treasury and the way they've implemented that. I want to see relief for state and local governments, not necessarily in the way that Democrats have put it in this bill. And I also, Republicans, we want to help get people back to work. We want to fix the unintended consequences of continuing to pay and increase unemployment insurance. We want to help American families that are struggling, but at the same time, we don't want to help people stay at home, and we don't want the government helping the unemployed compete with private industry. We've got people that don't want to work because it makes no sense if they can get more money from the government. And Democrats are focusing on things like making sure illegal immigrants get pay. It's crazy.
So you do want to push more money out there. I mean, you've already got, what is it, 5 or 6 trillion from the Federal Reserve, 3 trillion from Congress. You want more trillions of dollars going where you want it to go, but you are in favor of another big package.
I don't love it. I think that we're going to eventually get there. That's my answer to that. I don't like that we're spending trillions and trillions of dollars. I don't know any Republican that does. But I can tell you we are going to pump the brakes. The Senate has already said there's no way that they'll even pass anything on their side before Memorial Day. There was talk that we'd be done and finished with the next package by then. That's not going to happen. It'll be June. Republicans are prepared to work with Democrats across the aisle and get something passed, but we don't want to get in a big hurry because we've got so much money that's already been appropriated that hasn't even been spent yet. We want to see how that trickles through the economy. We want to make sure that whatever package comes out next ensures that we're helping Americans get back to work. Democrats in today's bill are just throwing everything in there to appease the far left base so they can say that they've done something. This bill that will pass today, later this evening, will go absolutely nowhere.
Okay, let's talk about Texas, your state. Texas opened up to some degree on May the 1st. Since then, there has been a rise in coronavirus cases, 15,000 since the reopening on May the 1st. Do you feel like that's an acceptable risk? To open up the economy means more cases. Is that a risk that you're prepared to accept?
I'm prepared to accept the risk because that's my decision to make. There is no burden on senior citizens to leave their home. The senior citizens I represent, they didn't need the government in the first place to tell them to stay home. They were going to do that anyway. The vulnerable population needs to stay home if they choose to stay home. People that are able to work need to be able to work. And that number you quoted, it's not a huge spike. Texas has been pretty steady, and the goal was not to have a cure and this disease be totally eradicated before we open back up. The goal was to make sure our health care facilities were not overwhelmed and that the curve was flattened. That's exactly what's happened. There is no shortage of ventilators or hospital beds in Texas right now. The horror stories up in your area in New York are just not happening in Texas, and we're prepared to get back to work.
Got it. Lance Gooden, Republican, Texas. Thanks for joining us, sir. We appreciate it. Thank you.